Hope all the speakers are present today. Dr. Priya ma'am. Good evening, everyone. So we are live now, and session number 25. NEP has a dynamic policy, and we are going to discuss on this area of discussion now. What is there in the NEP as a dynamic policy? Why is it called as a dynamic policy? Let us hear from the speakers today. So, welcoming Dr. Iman ma'am for the first speaker to highlight on this issue of NEP as a dynamic policy. Welcome, ma'am. Iman ma'am, please take the privilege to start the show. Priya ma'am, Dr. Priya ma'am, are you there?
Yeah, ma'am.
You can take the lead, ma'am. Please start
ma'am.
And switch on your videos, ma'am, please. Humble request to everyone. Please switch on your videos. A request to everyone, all the speakers, please join on time. 8:30, the program goes live. Please take the lead. So before they start the speaking,
am I audible?
Yes, please start. Please start. Yes, you are audible, ma'am, but you're not visible. Please switch on your video.
Yeah, ma'am, actually, I'm not.
We will highly appreciate if all the speakers switch on the video. So as you,
having eye infection also. Shall I continue?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Please continue.
Yeah, thank you so very much. Good evening to all of you.
Good evening. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this opportunity. As we all know that we are discussing National Education Policy, NEP 2020 from last 1.5 month. Am I right, ma'am?
Yes.
And E.R. Ravi Shankar, sir, with our team is doing well to understand what is actually NEP. Yes, it is a dynamic policy, as already discussed by with so many points, how it is useful for the students. As you know that every family wishes to know more about the education, good education and quality education. The demand now is no more only for the education and school, but for the good quality education, which is very important. Embarked with the skill acquisition in a good school. Just some 60 years ago, people were reluctant even to send their children to school. Am I right, ma'am? And had to be the particularly persuaded to send the girls to school. The attitudinal transformation itself is a great achievement. Now, each and every girl want to study, and many of the parents are now eager to send their girl child to the school. India needs to evolve a visionary, futuristic, and a pragmatic education policy that could respond to the national requirements and aspirants of the young and the aged in a fast changing globalized world. These are the critical times for the country to have a fresh look on its education system, and that's why new education system 2020 come to our education system. Our education system must remain deeply rooted to the culture and simultaneously committed to the new knowledge. And that's why this system we thought would retain our old culture. National education policy is not framed today. It was framed in 1986, as we all know. and modified in 1992. Since then, the several changes has been taken and the revision was taken for the policy. NEP 2020 is the first education policy of the 21st century and replaces the 34 years of old policy of NEP 1986, built on the foundation pillars of access, equality, quality, affordability, accountability, and this policy is aimed to the 2030 agenda for the sustainable development also, as it is an important topic to be discussed. Aims to transform the India into the vibrant knowledge society and the global knowledge superpower by making both school and college education more holistic, flexible, multidisciplinary, suited to 21st century needs and aimed at bringing out the unique capabilities of each and every student, including the girl child also, because NEP also given emphasis to girl education and the primary education, which is an important part of each and education system. There are many silent features related to the NEP which is discussed in the last 1.5 months. I would like to summarize all of them by saying that, first of all, ensuring the universal access at all levels of school education. And that's why they have framed the NEP for the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 education system. Am I right, Sonal ma'am? Every childhood care and education with new curricular and pedagogical structure, which focus the development through the childhood, from the childhood to the youngsters, so that they can develop overall. Second, attaining the foundational and literacy and numeracy. States will prepare an implementation plan for attaining the universal foundation for the literacy and numeracy in all the primary schools for all learners by the grade 3 by 2025. And this was really a challenge. A national book promotion policy was also formulated for the same. The next is multilingual and the power of language. Yes, the emphasis was given to the mother tongue, local language, and religious language as the medium of the instruction, at least till grade 5, so that they can understand their local language and the regional language, which was a very important part of the NEP 2022. Next is equitable and inclusive education. Next is robust teacher recruitment and career path. As the vocational courses came from the starting from the school to the higher education, what was needed? We needed the teachers which are very talented in all the subjects. Like in arts and craft, previously it was only a single teacher in schools. Am I right, ma'am? Now it happens it is in each and every in higher education also. हायर एजुकेशन में वोकेशनल सिस्टम है जिसके कारण each and every teacher has to be there, like yoga teacher, PD language, PD teachers, personality development. Previously it was confined to some specific schools only, but due to this NEP now it has been possible for the teachers to be taken with a good recruitment and with the good salaried also. Appraisal system was given to the NEP so that the teachers can have the appraisal, performance appraisals, and their progression path are also increased. School governance. Schools can be organized into complexes or the clusters, which will be the basic unit of the governance. Standard settings and accreditation for the school's education, which was a very important part because the credit system already there in the foreign countries, but it was not there in our Indian system or in India. Through credit system, students can get a good credit with a good job opportunities, which was the major part of our NEP. Higher education में भी जो system बनाया गया है उसमें that was the That is also a very good system, which is based on the credit system. Certificate after 1 year, advanced diploma after 2 years, bachelor degree after 3 years, and bachelor with research after the fourth year. And it is a totally credit system. An academic bank of the credit is to be established for the digitally storing academic credit and from the different HEI, so that this can be transferred and counted towards the final degree earned. Next is regulation, rationalized institutional architect, motivated, energized, and capable faculty. NEP makes the recommendations for motivating, energizing, and the building capacity of the faculty through the clear, defined, independent, transparent recruitment, freedom to design curricula, and excellence. Movement into the institutional leadership. Faculties not dealing on basics of norms which are be held accountable. This was a very important part which has taken by the NEP. Teacher education was the main target of NEP, and for that there are the different frameworks was designed for them. B.Ed are also now come to the 4 years, which is integrated, which can be completed through the UG plus B.Ed. Monitoring mission, this was an important part which NEP has taken. Financial support for the students, yes, the efforts are made for them on the basis of their merit, maybe the ST, SC, OBC, and other. But the scholarship methods are also been given, or free ships also given to the student to encourage the education. Next is open and distance learning. There are many programs running online which is free of cost, which students can take even they are not going to the schools, and if the fees are not affordable for them for the higher education, they are learning through that courses and getting the credit internship, and they are moving abroad as well as in India, they are getting a good job. This is a very good formulations which NEP has and India has started. Technology in education, now AI, IoT is the thing which is coming to the UG level, and the students are taking interest, they are learning at very basic level, and they are getting the jobs. Improving the class process, support the teacher professionally development, enhance the educational access. These all are the part which the National Educational Technology Forum is taking. Promoting Indian language, previously it was not there, but now it is ensuring that we can preserve, growth, and vibrate the Indian language. And now we are getting the importance abroad also. Professional education, all professional education is an integral part of the higher education system, and standalone technical universities, health science universities, legal and agriculture university will aim to become the multidisciplinary institutions. Adult education policy aims to achieve the 100% youth and adult literacy. Financing education so that our GDP can be also be increased. So these were few points which I want to discuss through my session. Thank you so very much, ma'am, for giving me opportunity. I hope I have covered in the that given time.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And we would have appreciated if you would have put the video on, because we could have seen your enthusiasm is speaking, and that is hidden now. Good. That's wonderful.
Thank you, ma'am.
Always remember that wherever you are, whatever you are, if you are making a change in the society, don't ever try to hide yourself from the world. So whatever you are, just highlight yourself, no matter whatever the position is. So you have elaborated all the points wonderfully and very nicely. And may I know, which school are you in, ma'am?
Ma'am, I'm the principal in Indore International College. I'm reside in Indore, Madhya Pradesh.
Okay. So the points that you have elaborated on, ma'am, can you give us one or two examples on how the implementation is done and the points that you have spoken about? Just one or two examples.
Like, ma'am, in higher education, now the system has came. Yes, what we have given to, like UG students, we have given three things. First is major part, major subject they can take, minor subject that they can take, okay, and then elective paper is there and vocational paper is there. Like previously, what it was happened, the student was doing BSc. I'm giving just one example. In BSc plane, it was having the three subjects: botany, chemistry, and zoology. In new education policy, what comes, like if you want to take botany as a your research, so major subject you can take biology, botany, major, which he has to study all the 3 years, including the 4 years of the research methodology. Second, minor subject he has to take. If he is taking the major subject botany, he has to read. He has to cover 2 units, two paper, paper one and paper two. Minor if he is taking, he has to cover paper two. Like he is taking zoology minor, he can take chemistry also, he can take other subject also, है ना? Then comes to the elective paper. Elective paper he has to take for the paper 2. So major paper 1, paper 2, minor paper 2 only one paper with 5 units, and third year elective again paper 2 which is of 5 units. And in each then vocational he has to take internship project, he has to do, he has to submit also, he has to do the 6 months or 2-3 months, and then he has to submit the project also. CC system is also there for the internal assessment. So likewise he has for the, if we are talking about the higher education, so this new education policies comes with this method ki major, minor, elective, and vocational subject. And he has to move for the first year, then second year, and the third year. If first year he is doing, he will only get the certificate. In second year, he will diploma, advanced diploma. And if he is doing the final third year, then he will get the degree. And continuation with the botany, which has taken by the first year, like in first year major he has taken, he can go for the research methodology, and fourth year again he will get the degree, research methodology degree, and credit is there in each system. So he has to score the 540 credit for the overall whatever the first, second, third year he is covering. Previously it was only like that way, he has to cover paper 1 and paper 2 in all the 3 years, in all the 3 subjects, and no extra subjects, no extra vocational subjects he has to study. And apart from this, he has to also go for the foundation, Hindi, English, and computer for the same. So this is the new education policies comes. और उसके अलावा भी मैम vocational में they have given a number of subjects. Means he is having a from the bio stream, botany stream, or from the commerce stream, or from the arts stream. Vocational subjects में है सारे ही, everything has been included. Agriculture included, digital marketing included, GST included, tally included. So apart from having first, second, third, whatever major, minor, elective paper he has given, it is apart from that vocational में वो उस subjects को agriculture भी पढ़ सकता है and other subjects भी पढ़ सकता है. It is a multi. तो एक growth स्टूडेंट्स की और जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज जो है वो स्टूडेंट्स की इंक्रीज हो गई है with this. So this is the best policies comes in the higher education.
Okay, so that means you have elaborated more on the structured framework of how the implementation is happening. Okay,
yes, actually we are working daily for the same. Yes, ma'am.
So that is the core web chart, like you have shown that the categories that they are going to be divided into the subcategories and the categories.
Yes, wonderful, I have that chart also, but it was in Hindi actually. That's why I didn't show that chart.
No problem. We will be inviting you for the next sections also. So there is always a next time. Don't worry, ma'am. So thank you so much for being the part of this series. And
thank you, ma'am.
Always look beyond your imperfection. Treasure yourself. Don't worry.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so very much.
Yeah. I would like to call my next speaker, that is Iman ma'am. Take the stage and highlight the issues on NEP as a dynamic policy, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am.
Welcome, my dear sister. I'm very grateful and thankful to you to be with you today. First of all, we talked about many advantages included in NAB. However, we have some challenges. So we need today to talk about it as a dynamic policy because everything must have some challenges and must have some advantages and some disadvantage. Let's return to the introduction about NAB. As we said before, it returns to 2 years ago. This dynamic change is done after 34 years. So at that time, all educators at that time maybe thought that the old educational policy is the best. After time, national educational policy is replaced it. So it means that everything at its time is the most suitable, but by time it will be not suitable. It will be replaced by the best according to some challenges, according to the appearance of some disadvantages. So every educational policies must be in a dynamic state, not in static state, because being static means that no improvement. So being dynamic means that it will be improved, it will be changed, and also may be replaced by the better. So as we said before, national educational policy of India is returned to 2 years ago at July of 2020, and it came by the leadership of the former education minister, Dr. Ramesh, and also at that time, it is referred to become strategically competitive so as to perform well at the global level. So being competitive at the global level meaning that it must be dynamic because the globe is changing. The globe can't be static, but it will be dynamic. Many global changes will be done, so it must be dynamic, can't be static. Also, it is referred to be parrot-centric value and culture and language. So it is based on parrot-centric values and culture and languages. So we have challenge of language, for example. However, it has clear vision and defined objectives, but by time, many challenges will be done. I refer to challenges, but now I wanted to refer to some advantages, and also I refer to the need of being dynamic and also being modified within time. So, however, it's a unique education policy in the world. It is established to ensure equality and social justice and empowerment, and to make progress to achieve a great and cohesive nation. Also, as I said before, to be competitive, to do competition with other countries in the globe. So it must be at that level. So we must overcome all challenges, all challenges. Also, another challenge, it has diverse form. India has diverse forms of communities and populations and the cultures and the religions. So we have we have huge diversity. The vision of NAB focuses on inculcating a spirit of rightness and also wisdom and advanced skill in Indian issues and culture. So it is focusing on ethics and culture. And also it is targeted to two types, school education and higher education. As I said before, India-centric education equals national educational policy, and this term is done by the great chief minister N. Perrin Sen. He said that the education is the backbone of the society. So the society also is changed, is undergone some dynamic changes. So also it must be dynamic. It must be modified according to any change inside this society, like crisis, as you know, COVID and many things like this. However, it's done, I think, in a parallel time of COVID-19, but also many changes in circumstances and in society structure and many changes. So it must be adapted to overcome any change inside this society. So it's a knowledge-based society. As we said before, for example, it's a value-based education, and also it's a knowledge-based education and knowledge-based society. We are talking about development of knowledge-based society. So knowledge is changeable. Knowledge is not fixed. We are talking about the digitalization. We are talking about the online education. We are talking about change in e-content. So you are talking about many variables, many variables. So each variable can create a challenge. So we must overcome these challenges. So let's transfer to some challenges to be overcome. For example, we need to talk about technology trends at first, second, third, fourth levels. We need also to highlight the challenges related to evaluating effective use of digital device by the teachers, students, and also in the teaching learning process. We need to talk about digital devices. How can we deal with them as educators or as students? We need to talk about some critical elements like kinds of digital devices required in schools, for example, capacity to use and interest and capacity to be used, cost affordable. Maybe we are talking about equitable education, so maybe the cost is not suitable to all families. Effectiveness of the use, changing technologies. Technology are changed every day. So we have many critical elements in this regard. So every move in the usage of technology will bring many advantages. So we need to be advanced and updated, and also we need to be online people. Also, we need to talk about making virtual labs. We need to talk about educational softwares, technical and psychological support of students. We need to talk about standardization of educational softwares. We need to talk about higher encouragement related to society and related to family. We have many critical points and many challenges in this regard. Also, we need to focus on the implementation of NETE. What is NETE? It's a National Educational Technology Forum. This challenge is all about the ambitious goal and setting of the NEB, a new Educational Technology Forum. We have many challenges in this regard because I know that the time is very limited, so I need to stick to the time. We have also the challenge of the induction of technology. We need to talk about how to be global, the challenge of appointing quality staff, also the challenge of translation of content into multiple languages. It's very important. Translation. We need to have softwares. We need to be supported by software applications to do these qualified translations. We need to establish centers of excellence in educational technology. So we are going to digitalization, and some people are not acceptable people, some people are refusal, some people against technology. So we need to talk about support from the families, and also support from the society and governmental support. Also, we need to talk about hardwares, softwares. Another challenge is extending the professional development of teachers with the use of education technology. It's very important. Some educators are not qualified enough to use technology. So we need to undergo these educators to highly training programs, highly performance training programs. So for this reason, we talked before about professional training. We need to talk about self-improvement and holistic education. It's highly required. We need to talk about CPD. So we need to use educational technology for continuous teacher professional development. We need to improve the educator, to improve the student. The online platform will also allow teachers to share ideas. So we need to be online. We need to have qualified educators to deal with these online platforms. Also, we have many specific technologies related to policy actions. We need to improve teaching, learning, and evaluation processes. We need to have honest feedbacks. It's very important to focus on the issue of feedback. We need to facilitate the teachers to engage in many forms of active learning. All forms of active learning is highly required. Also, the NAB proposal for integrating educational technology into the school curriculum is a very positive move, but the challenges to operationally make it feasible and scaling to the level of Indian population is a huge challenge to be faced. So we are talking about population is another challenge. So the strategic option in this case, preparing the schools with tech infrastructure to make ICT a support structure is the biggest of the challenges. So we need to prepare schools to be tech schools. We need to have STEAM schools, more and more and more: science, technology, engineering, art, designs, mathematics. Challenges to face for the introduction of ICT from age 6 onwards. While it is a very ambitious thorough process, how far making this strategy a functional one has its own risk also. This is another risk. The sixth channel, the channel number 6, is introducing ICT into the school curriculum. So we need to have, for example, user-friendly software to assist learners. We need to have AI supported intelligent routing systems. We need to have accessible and utility-oriented educational software in the form of serious games to attract students, to have game-based learning. So we have many challenges. So we need to overcome these challenges. It doesn't mean that NEB is bad or good, but it means that anything must be modified to be better. We need to touch advantages to be magnified and to touch disadvantages in a very honest manner to be overcome. So it must be a dynamic. If the educational policy is not dynamic, I think there will not NAB, because it itself came after 34 years. It's not a long period. It means that the change is dynamic and running very fast. But at these days, I think maybe the change will come not after 34 as before, maybe will come after 10 years, because we are talking about competition with the globe. It's not offline policy. It's open to the globe. So being open to the globe, it means that you need to be changeable. You need to be modified within time. We need to overcome all challenges. So to conclude, NAB is not the best and is not the least. NAB, as like as any educational policy, needs to be need to know all advantages to be magnified and all disadvantages to be overcome. NAB came, I think, with the time of crisis. It means that it's very, very, very suitable to such a crisis. So I appreciate NAB because of this point, because it came with the time of COVID-19. It's already a crisis. So being at this time, it means that it's very suitable to online education. But time is highly changed. Competition with the globe is very great. So modification within the time will be done after more studies. I read many papers related to some challenges will face NAB. And these challenges doesn't mean that NAB is not good, but it means that we need to study more and more advantages and disadvantages, and also we need to be updated with what is done outside to be competitive to the group. We are talking about competition with the world. So we need to talk about globalization, leadership. We need to talk about motivation of educators itself, because educators is the heart of the body of education. So we need to talk about motivating educators to be updated, to be online educators, to be open-minded, to work from the heart. Because the first word written in India-centric education is an advice to educators: please work from the heart. So if you are working from the heart, it means that you will you will do your best to be better. Because if anything is fixed, nothing will be improved. So for this reason, we need to be dynamic, not static, because we are talking about improvement. And improvement means that it must be dynamic and changeable to the best, to be better, and also to the best in the future. Thank you very much. That's all what I have. And thanks to IGYM for giving me the opportunity to be with you. Thanks, Dr. Ravi, Dr. Jeunesse, Miss Donnell, and our lovely great moderator, Dr. Sonel. Thanks a lot for speakers before me. Dr. Peria, you added a lot to my knowledge, and I'm waiting to hear from other great speakers. Thanks a lot to all of you and also to our respected attendees.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for highlighting the core issues of what is actually dynamic and what we need to stress more upon. And if done with dedicated heart and soul, definitely the change is about to happen. And we educators can bring this change because we are passionate change makers, as we call. So, one question I would like to ask you, ma'am. One is that you talked about challenges. Can you just describe one or two challenges that we are not able to implement the NEP as a dynamic policy? What are those one or two challenges, ma'am? Any one or two?
Yes, I think the most important challenge is the educator. Educator itself must be well trained, must be acceptable people to change, because not all people are accepting changes. Here, everywhere, not all people are accepting changes. Sometimes we have great ministers. They wanted to do great changes. Most of them trying to do transformation in education. But educator is on the top. So if educators will support us and allow us to be modified and to be better version of ourselves, it will be a very supportive issue. If some of them will refuse, it will be great challenge. Also, as I said before, psychological acceptance and of the students, and also support of the society and the families. It's very important. Here in Egypt and in all countries, some families are refusing modifications in education because the mother and the father are educators inside home, and the society interaction, because NEB is based basically to focus on engaging society and the family in the issue of education. So it may be challenge and also it may be supportive according to the acceptance, according to the accessibility of people to interact.
Very good. That is what rotating around the orbit and coming back to the educator. And the educator itself is responsible for accepting the change, for implementing the change, come out of your comfort zone. And that is where the real axis of the rotation is presented. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful input, wonderful, knowledgeable sharing. Thank you so much, ma'am. Gratitude. So,
thank you, my dear sister. But I wanted to say something. You said comfort zone. In the issue of education, we have no comfort zone. If you are looking to be comfortable, please don't participate in the issue of education. We can't feel comfortable because of responsibility. We are responsible people. So how can I feel comfortable without doing all what I have? So I think no comfortable zone in this.
Agree. Totally agree, ma'am. Totally agree. 100%. So yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is where we educators can focus upon what is not there in the NEP policy. And that is why we have been trying to miss the missing puzzles over here. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. I will like to call my third speaker. That is Dr. Anita Peer, ma'am. Anita Call, ma'am. Are you there? Anita Call, ma'am. Are you there? Anita Call, ma'am. Have you been able to join the session?
Ma'am, I think she is not there. Sonal, ma'am, I think she is not there.
Okay. Are you there?
No, she is not.
No.
Ma'am, she is not there.
Okay. So my last speaker, that is Dr. Zubair sir. Mohammed Zubair sir, are you there? Has Zubair sir joined the session?
No, also he is not.
No, I think because sir has been busy with some of the personal commitments, and he is unable to join. He had messaged us that if he is possible to join, he will definitely join. So, taking my session forward towards an end, I would like to call upon Priya Trivedi ma'am for one action pointer, one kind of short message for the educators out. Please welcome, ma'am.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Thank you so very much. Ma'am, understanding NEP is very easy. And I think if all the educators coming together to understand and to forward these messages to the parents as well as to make the children aware of the NEP, it is a very important for us because policy is met for the students, for the parents to understand ki how national education policy, new education policy can make each and every student, more convincing to the education and opening opportunities for them for the job as well. So it is very important to make them understand through our educators through this webinar ki how this education policy can enhance our students at a good level. And education is coming from the starting point. So it is very important for the pre-primary teachers to understand the education policy to make them more, by activity learning. Activity learning is very important in the pre-primary school, as already done in many foreign countries. So in India, it is lacking somewhere, I think. So to understand how activity-based learning is important in primary school and in higher education, how these vocational subjects can be important. By these two aspects, we can reach to a good level of the education in India as well. This is my the key point, and thank you so very much again, ma'am, for
Thank
giving
you
me a
so much,
chance
ma'am.
to speak out.
Yeah, the more you will share the session, the more the highlight of the issues will happen. So highlight the more of the core issues, share your sessions, and that is where the real learning will happen. Because if we just keep the session with us, it's not going to make a change.
Yes, ma'am. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
education. See, we are in the stream. All the educators which we are teaching to the students. But to understand this new education policy to the parents as well, how it is important for them also and for the students also. It is very important, ma'am. And I think
very.
we are conducting this webinar for them only. And we are living live. We are live at Facebook page. So it's very important to share this Facebook page to all the parents and all the children. Okay, how this new education policy is important for them also. This is very important to make this message to
Uh,
rotate to all the parents and students. Am I right, Sonal ma'am?
yes, absolutely. Ma'am, since we have started the INEP series from 15th September onwards, to make a note to everyone over here, believe me, these sessions have been 100% success. Why?
Yes.
Even if people are not attending, even if there are many educators across my Facebook page, I think there are thousands of educators, but none of them are attending the program. But just from the flyer, just from
Yes.
the
Yes.
topic, they are taking the topic and using it as a core publish it. You can call it a publicity stunt
Yes,
to
ma'am.
attract people to take admissions in their school. This is happening, and this is the change that is happening through IDYM session. And I would
Yes.
like
Yes.
to thank Ravi sir for giving me this opportunity to highlight the session, to bring the change, and all of you for being the real support system to highlight the core issues with your experiences. A small dot, a small drop in the ocean fills the ocean with wonderful volumes of water to sustain life on the earth. So, a drop of ocean in the drop of water in the ocean of IDYM session is definitely going to bring a change. Be aware, be alert. The change is happening from 15th onwards, 15th, I think 15th September onwards. I am minutely observing each and every area what the schools are implementing. Renu ma'am has herself started conducting live sessions in schools with the topic of and cultivation of an illumined mind. It was never exist. It was never existed any time. So
Yes, ma'am.
NEP has been a real change maker. I think we all should appreciate a pat on the back of us for bringing up this change, bringing out the real. I think a vacuum that was filled with void has been filled
Yes.
with amazing learning. So, Iman ma'am has been a true support for me every session, every learning session. Bedkar sir has always been there to review the session. And thank you so much to all of you. And before I end the session, I would like to call Bedkar sir to give the review of the sessions conducted till now. A small little review before we end. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Sonal Madam. From last so many weeks, we are uh, listening you and all the resource persons invited from abroad and India are experts and also giving their opinion and suggestions every day. Today is the topic also related to our education policy, how it is dynamic. If you see that any education system is not ideal, it should be changed because at the forming of any education policy, what the situation is existing, it's very different after 10 years. But after 10 years, it is highly impossible to implement new education policy because we have to study education. Educators should study and give the perfect solution. So it's very so late we have implementing the new education policy after 32 years. So these policies should be changed according to the technological changes, environmental changes, need of the society, because what at that time previous university was not facing this much problems. The new problems have arisen, maybe arising in the new time. So by studying this, we should keep the students at the center for their job opportunity or for their future. So by studying all the drawbacks of the existing policy, new education policy is coming ahead, giving new choices for new education, different education for the same student, to reduce the knowledge related to one subject. As you are knowing that our Premchand, writer Premchand, was unable to study after 10th. The reason was there was maths compulsory in the subject. So Premchand, which is our well-known writer, unable to make the complete his graduation because of the education policy at that time. When I was in graduate level, there was also mathematics to the arts subject. It was attached to arts faculty. Now it is shifted to the science faculty. So these are the changes. These are the changes should be adopted, keeping the need of that day. So thank you, madam. Every resource person, including Iman, madam, all have very presented nicely here today about the dynamic of the new education policy, and hope it should be implemented very successfully as per the educators, and we all will see the what the drawbacks we can eliminate it as per on our level. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. I think my real awards and certificates are you people, are you educators who are studying thick and thin with me for supporting me to bring a change in the education system. I don't need any certificates. I don't need any awards. I don't need any trophies. Your support is the change in the education system. Let us be that change. Let us all appreciate the change that is happening with small little fraction, minute of a second fraction. So thank you so much. And before I end the session, I would like to just share something. And that is, there has to be a democratic and negotiated learning. There has to be an active, learner centered, and experiential approach, including group discussions, debates, games, and drama through stories. We need to have a unique way of teaching wherein we need to use three voices to write them. The first voice is ourselves, the second as a researcher, and the third of our students. Without these three, a triangle that is formed, ourselves, researcher, and students, a change cannot happen. The NEP policy, the NEB, whatever you can call all the topics of the 31 days will not take shape. The learning is presented not in numbers, but through stories. We need to make education holistic through life skills training using grammar. We know we are doing right when we see lives changing around ourselves because of our work, and our work speaks volume. Silent work speaks volumes. So let us be that silent voice that is going to echo in the surrounding of the education system. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Gratitude.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so very much.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, my
Okay.
dear
Thank you
sister.
very
However,
much.
I want
Thank
to
you.
say
Thank
Thank you
one
you.
very
thing,
much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
my dear
Bye-bye. Good
sister.
night.
Thank
I
you
want
very
to
much. Thank
say
you.
one thing finally. Can I say it?
Yes, please.
Okay. Today I talked about some advantages and disadvantages or some challenges. Maybe NAB will face it, but I think we have two pillars will support NAB. The first pillar is loving education. Sorry, I think I need to. I'm working as co-host now, you know. The first pillar is loving your job as educator. The second pillar is the responsibility. So by responsibility, you can do many things with all love.
Exactly. That
Without
is what.
responsibility, you can complain from only one task.
Definitely.
So yes.
Yeah, please
Go ahead.
continue, ma'am. Please continue.
Okay. So we have two pillars, and we have also one important factor will push NEB towards the success. It will be collaboration from family, from society, and from educators, and from students.
That is what exactly, ma'am, you have highlighted the real issue. We have to leave learning legacies. We don't want to leave, we leave legacies of materialistic things. So why not we educators start leaving learning legacies? And this is the way we can leave. We can empower educators through our experiences, through our own learning, through our mistakes and failures and inadequacies that we call. So session number 25, successful, day 25.
Can I
Thank you so
intervene in
much.
between, Sonal ma'am?
Please,
Can I
yeah.
intervene in between? Yeah,
Yes,
just
yes.
few things. That learning, gaining knowledge, and education are lifelong experiences, and we are not confined to a limited stage. We are here to educate each other. We are here to learn from each other, I think. And we need to collaborate, as just Imam ma'am has talked about, that we should reciprocate each our learning, and we should keep on sharing our knowledge with each other. Thank you, ma'am.
Definitely, definitely. That is why we say the three C's are the fundamental units of the education system. What are the three C's? The collaboration of education, irrespective of the distance. Let us not see the distance as a shortcoming. We are connected globally, we are connected internationally, nationally, sharing experiences with each and everyone's own perspective, blending all the teaching, blending all the learning, because I think children are of the same breed. The children have the same blood, the same mind, the same brain, the same body. So let us all educators collaborate together to find what are the
Yes.
missing NEP policy puzzles are. And that is where
Collaboration is the key word.
I think rather than spending a lot of money on those kind of courses, which are still not enough to enrich our knowledge. So NDYM is going to provide you saving your money with people like educators like here, giving us wonderful information. And I think Dr. Pooja Joshi ma'am is here, my co-moderator. Please welcome Pooja ma'am.
Thank you, Sonal. Thank you, Sonal. So sorry, I can't open my video right
No
now.
problem, no problem. Your few words from you.
Thank you once again to all the speakers for coming on this stage. Again, the series have been successfully completed with my dear moderator Sonal, non-stop since 15 September. Thank you. Thank you, Iman sir. Thank you, Imam ma'am. Thank you.
Iman sir.
Sorry.
I think we should
Don't
salute.
worry.
We should say thanks to Ravi sir for
Yes.
relentlessly
Ravi sir,
supporting us.
for having
Yes.
the
Relentlessly.
trust, for keeping
He
us
is
the trust
deserving
that
all
we
the
can
best.
prove it. So sorry,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Iman. So sorry.
Don't worry, my dear sister. Just I am kidding with you.
Yeah.
I
Thank you
think
so much.
NEP is a great project. So every great project is as like a seed, as like as a baby. So we need to take it all our concern. We need to be careful to make
Yes.
it grow and grow, to be better, to be changed, to be better. I touched India at the time of NAB. However, my experience with India, I think, is about more than 11 years ago. It's not a short period to contact India, but contacting national educational policy, I think at the first day of its birth, I'm contacting universities and guest speaker inside the conferences. So I'm in touch with NAB. So I saw that it will be very successful because it started already with crisis. It started already with COVID-19. I think it looks as like as being a vaccine to eliminate any problems of education. So appreciation to NAB, and let's take care and let's push it by collaboration and by also the two pillars of education, love and responsibility.
Yes, ma'am. Wonderful, wonderful. So
Thank
let us
you.
end this session with a line. This is just a bend, not the end. The end is still there. Let us continue the journey till the end. Thank you so much. Good night.
Most welcome.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.